Space Cats, it's me Jules doing a spooky old Halloween video. Look, look, boots and big thick woolly socks and a big jumper. It surely must be that time of year. Halloween is tomorrow, so I hope you've got your spooky outfit ready to go and all your eyeballs ready in the freezer and this year is going to be a bit different. I'm not really expecting very many trick-or-treaters to come and knock at my door, but if I do see any witches or ghosties, I'm just going to have to assume they're real. Just in case you fancy doing some spooky art, and it doesn't have to be just October, it can be at any time of year, I give you permission. I'm going to show you how to draw a monster. If you want a more in-depth tutorial, then skip over to my website or have a goosey gander at Patreon, link in description, where my tutorials are also uploaded. I've picked Frankenstein's monster's twin sister. For this, I'm using some heavyweight cartridge paper and some water-soluble pencils, and to blend, some contraband cotton buds, that's Q-tips, shh, don't tell anyone, and some nail varnish remover, and that will be at the end to blend things in. It's a rainy old day here as I start to record this voiceover, so you might be able to hear the gentle tinkling that's going on above me on the roof, but I'm getting that vibe of being perhaps in a spooky old castle somewhere on a cliff top. I'm using a Japanese pen. It's called a Sakura Pigma, P-I-G-M-A, and it's the fine version. It comes in 3 different thicknesses, from fine through medium and to the thickest one, and they are brush pens. So that means that as you're pressing down, if you press quite hard, it will give you a thicker line, and if you ease off the pressure, it will give you a nice thin line. So that helps to define your characters a little bit. It gives you that thick and thin line, whereas if you're using perhaps a fine liner, you just get one width. And the pencils I've got a mixture of Caran d'Ache, which are Swiss, and some British ones, which are the Derwent watercolour pencils. I'm just giving it a bit of a layer. As you can see, it looks quite pale to start with, but I'm layering those colours up, and you'll see when I come to do some blending, you'll see how the colours start to react with one another. You can buy some special solvent in an art shop that will do this job for you, this blending job, really well for you, but I don't have any at the moment, so I'm just using something that I've got hanging around. You can use all sorts of different solvent type things, but the one that I have is just some nail varnish remover, so that's what I'll be using for doing my blending. The palette I've chosen is basically some blues, purples, pink and some black, and just going to be drawing a tartan dress here, because she's quite a cool dude, so she's got her Scottish tartan on. And to make tartan, what you've got to do is have these sort of cross-hatched areas, leave some white, but do thick and thin lines. So you can probably make out there I've got some thicker dark blue lines and some thinner, and the same with the paler blue, and then just going over the top of it with some of that dark purple, but making sure I'm leaving plenty of white spaces, and then a little bit of shadow under her chin to show where her chin overhang is, and a little bit more pink just to give that a bit of zinginess. When you're drawing your shoes, if you leave just a little white patch over the top where the toes are, that shows that they're shiny and makes them look more shoe-like. And I thought she just needed to have some pink funky hair, because I know October, Halloween, Samhain time of year is kind of orange and browns and blacks and stuff like that, but I just wanted to make her look a bit more friendly and fun and not too scary. If you want a scary Halloween picture to draw, I'm sure you can find thousands of them on Tinternet, but my style is much more cartoony and child friendly, so that's why I'm making her look quite a nice friendly sort of monster. If you have any children that are bored over half term or over the weekend, want to do something slightly Halloweeny, then you can point them in the direction of this video, because all of my videos are child friendly, even though really I am aiming them at adults because of the publishing side of things. But I've always got children in mind because I write for children, and my picture books are all for the sort of younger age group, so I've always got kids in mind when I'm doing my art videos. Next up, we're just going to be doing something for her to be standing on, because one of the things that I always say is it's really important, even if it's just a shadow, to give your characters something to stand on so they're not in mid-air. It gives them just a bit of context. And the only colour that's different on this palette from the blues and the purples and everything is the cat's eyes, which are that bright yellow. And this cat has just got a little white sock at the end of its tail, which I thought was kind of cute. Now, I couldn't find any Q-tips. I've totally run out. Now they really are contraband. So I'm just using a bit of cotton wool, dipping it into the nail varnish remover, making sure it's not too wet, and then just doing some little dabs and smudgy bits, maybe a few little circles, and then very carefully over that tartan, up and down and across. And you can see that the colours are really starting to be much more saturated, much more vibrant. And if you were to look on the back of this, you wouldn't see any horrible bleed throughs or oily marks or anything like that, because I've used just a very small amount. There we go. Happy Halloween, everyone. If you'd like further artist tutorials, I have a variety of short courses that will help you. There are real-time sessions looking at painting, drawing and marker pens, among others. And if you're keen on producing your own book, there is a more in-depth course on what you need to know about self-publishing a book with illustrations. And that covers making key decisions, how to make layouts and dummy books, rhythm and pacing, as well as several tutorials on illustrating your book, and a look at the tech. You can either hop over to my website or join me on Patreon for more information. Go on, give it a go! It doesn't have to be October to do this drawing. You might suddenly come over all gothic, or just fancy making a sort of spooky picture for something. Whatever you do with it, make sure you take a picture and put it on social media, and then tag me or send me the link and I will have a look at it. No idea what I'm doing next week because my bullet journal is elsewhere, but I dare say it will be enthralling and deeply satisfying. So make sure you ding the notification bell. I'm off to find my journal to find out what I'm doing next. I will see you next time. Nano nano.